everyone, welcome to another episode of Posh Teacher. And I am so excited today because I have a very special guest today. I have Kemi from Kemisdesigns. Kemi, welcome to our program.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, we are so excited to have you, and I'm excited because I get to glam up and show off our beautiful pieces. And well, the first question we always ask here at Posh Teacher is, what was your aha moment when you decided to become a jewelry designer?
It sticks out in my memory so much where it was actually when I was living in Australia after college for a year, just finding myself. And I just graduated from Delaware with an apparel design degree. And I knew that clothing design was something that I wasn't going to be getting into because I wanted to do something on my own. And it was something that you needed a factory for and a lot of money and investors. So I just remember wandering around Bondi Beach, and they have these beautiful outdoor crafts, like local craftsman markets. And I remember walking through there and just seeing a whole bunch of jewelry designers with these gorgeous metals that they've turned into rings and necklaces and earrings. And something struck with me where immediately I was like, I think I can do that. I think jewelry is actually something I can steer my creative direction into. And it just kind of continued from there.
Wow. So have you had any training when you were in college with metals?
No, they didn't even offer the program where I went. I went to University of Delaware, and it was all apparel design, which was amazing. But I basically studied sewing and ironing for 4 years, which didn't really set me up right. I had a couple internships after that with clothing designers. And yeah, I just knew it was something that was going to take resources that I didn't have to get into. And it wasn't until after I moved back from Australia that I really started researching, and I found a silversmithing class at the 92nd Street Y in New York City and started taking classes there. And it was just immediately fell in love with it. Everyone there that I was working with was so much fun. Everyone was getting into it from the beginning. So it was from scratch. And it was like, all you needed was an acetylene tank and silver, and you can make anything. And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
So you didn't need a factory and a slew of people to do
and
that.
I mean, Etsy really was the breaking point too, because I started making jewelry, for fun. I think it was 2010, and Etsy was still pretty new then. And I remember I had my sister's friend message me and was like, have you heard of this website? And I said, no. And then I looked into it, and it was so cool because it was the first of its kind to build a website without doing it all on your own, and a platform where it's like a social network platform kind of thing. And I still have an Etsy shop because I love it. But that's really what helped me grow my business as well.
What was the first design that you put on Etsy? What was like your...
Oh my goodness.
Your favorite?
I had a lot of beadwork, which was fun. But my first silversmithing design, which I haven't thought about in so long, and I found a picture of it recently.
Oh my God.
Was, okay, stretch your memory here.
Okay.
Do you remember Kanye West when he used to wear those glasses that had like the blinds across them? I made that into a ring, and that's the first thing that I sold.
No, you did?
A little ring that had glasses on it, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Probably because it was really hard to saw out all those little blinds, but I should find a photo of it and repost it. It's so funny.
You totally have to. Oh my gosh, how cool. Super cool. Was it, what kind of color metals do you work with?
I do sterling silver and then solid gold. I actually work a lot with 10 karat gold because I find I really want to be affordably priced for my customers, and gold is so expensive, especially right now. So I found that 10 karat gold is one step below 14 karat, and it's just as beautiful, doesn't tarnish, and it's really good quality. So I work with 10 karat gold a lot. And then if you want the in between, I do brass and then get it gold plated. So you can get gold plated pieces as well.
Oh. Have you had anybody request to do their wedding rings or?
Yes.
Oh, you have?
Done a lot of wedding bands. Yeah, I've obviously done my own and my husband's, but I've
show us. Do you have a?
Yeah, well, I have a bunch of them like linked up. I don't know if you could see. It's this tiny one, and it's got all these little diamonds scattered across it. Oh, it's just simple, beautiful. But yeah, I started off doing men's, and then when I got more brave, I would do women's. I still haven't done engagement rings because big diamonds scare me. It's a lot of pressure. I mean, God forbid it falls off somewhere. I don't trust myself to do those yet. I'm more with metalworking, but maybe one day.
Good. Well, actually, speaking of great accomplishments, I was reading that you created the Mayan collection for Macy's. Tell us
Yay!
about that. That is super cool. Tell
It's
us,
so exciting.
how did it happen?
Yeah, well, actually, Macy's hosts a workshop every year for young female entrepreneurs where you can win a week-long program with them where they teach you how to scale your business. So I applied and I interviewed, and it was actually like being on Shark Tank. I've never been so scared in my life. I had no idea it was as big of a deal as it was. And you have to present your line in front of a panel of people that work at Macy's, and there was probably 8 to 9 women sitting in a row in front of you, and you're
Oh
pitching
my
your
gosh.
line to them. And out of a couple hundred, I think there was 20 of us that got picked. And so we had our workshop scheduled for April last year, which went under as soon as Corona hit. So they pushed it off, but at the end of August, I think it was, the team came to line into Macy's. So that was a really nice buffer for not doing the workshop. And we still have the workshop coming up in April actually, which will be nice. But selling on their website has been, I mean, it's just crazy to think, a couple of years ago, if you asked me I'd be selling at Macy's, I would have not believed you. So it's surreal.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's exciting. And will they request more items from you, more designs? Is this kind of
I hope so.
getting your foot in the door with them?
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet probably because of Corona, because everyone's virtual right now and they obviously have a million other things to deal with.
Right.
But right now it's drop shipping. So when a customer orders, I ship directly from me. But I think the goal is to have them buy a whole bunch of pieces and then they ship it out for me. That would be way easier if they could start shipping for me. But right now it's just made easy and they wanted to get us up on the website quickly. So when an order comes in, I'm literally doing everything. I'm shipping it out and then they pay me through that. So
That's a
eventually,
great model.
yeah, it works really well. I mean, I don't see why it would ever need to stop. So we're
Well,
doing good.
tell me your time though. I mean, because these are all handmade pieces, or now do you have certain machinery? I mean, it's all handmade.
No, it's still handmade. So for them, I had to create inventory, which I never do. I just make it as my orders come in. So obviously that hit the bank a little bit, but it ends up evening out over time after I sell. And thankfully I did sell and I sold out of a couple of pieces. So I just make sure to have at least 10 pieces of each item on hand at a time, which is a little difficult to keep up
Wow.
with, but yeah, it's been
How
working.
long does it take you to make one of the pieces? Like this beautiful ring that you made that says love on it.
Yeah. Well, so it's different for every piece. For one like that or any other ring, for example, I'd make the first one and then I make a mold of that ring so that at any point I can just shoot metal into that mold and then it comes out with a whole bunch of pieces. And for the rings, they're pretty easy because as it comes out of the mold, it looks all white and crusty and it has like these sprues on it from where the metal shot in. So you just kind of have to saw off the sprues, clean it up, size it, tumble it, gold plated if it needs to be gold plated. But it's different for every piece. It's for like a ring, it would usually take a week or two to make.
Okay. Well, yes, the value of something handmade. I mean, I'm always just, artists, I really have high respect for them because,
Oh, thank
yeah.
you. Yeah, it's so good to feel appreciated because I do feel like it's so easy to buy from machinery or a factory overseas or something. And I think it's really important to keep creativity alive.
Well, and with that point, can you share maybe your journey growing up? Was creativity part of your life, part of your nature?
Yeah,
Tell us
I think
about it.
looking back in things, and I think I thought that was normal, but looking back on it, we were really constantly, I mean, whether it was building forts or painting something or whatnot, like my parents kind of always knew that us together, we would always be creative. She's still really creative. She's a teacher, but she's on that teacher paid teachers website where she's creating, the things that you put on the bulletin boards before class and everything. And her stuff is just genius. But I think I also have her to attribute to a lot of my childhood because she was so creative and it kind of just like spilled out onto me. And then we would do our creative things in different ways. And she went into teaching and being creative in that field. And I went into jewelry making. So it's kind of cool how we both grew up that way and kind of fed off of each other's creativity and used it into our everyday lives.
And when you were in school, did you take art classes? Were you involved in the art community at all? What was
Yeah,
your experience?
I was pretty proud to be in AP art in high
Oh,
school.
wow.
I loved it. Yeah, it was really fun. And it really was technical. I mean, for a high school class, I remember really learning, how to paint and the layers of like acrylic and everything. And I actually still have at my parents' house my final project, which was a 6-foot self-portrait of my face.
Oh my
I don't know what to do with it. It's just in my garage. We can't throw it out, but we can't put it up. So it just kind of sits there. It's very scary looking.
I love it. Actually, it's funny because my parents, when one of my aunts got married, we got these pictures, family pictures taken, big Italian family, and so we're all these pictures taken. And there's one, my mom had one of just me done, but it's massive. And she shows up the other day and she was like, "Here's your picture." And I'm like,
what do I do with
it? I'm going to put it over the fireplace.
Oh, it's so funny. I know.
And I mean, I was like probably 18. You know how like the big puff ear girls we had, the big curls.
Yes.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh, no. And actually, you know what? Really side note, I'm totally side noting here, but I got blue contacts at the time. It was in high school, and it was like,
yes, I had green ones.
You too? Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, well, here I have these blue eyes.
That's fantastic.
Oh my God. So it's literally in a closet. Yes, I don't know what to do with
I think the best thing is just to prank someone with it. Just send it to someone like really big and framed. Full blown prank.
Oh my God, we should do that. Yes. And then just pass it around. Maybe they can send it to someone else, right? And see where it ends up.
Traveling portrait.
This is all about you, Kemi. Sorry, I just had to I had to relate to the big picture.
Oh, I love it.
But so, when you told your parents I want to go into apparel design, did they take the news well or not? Because like I've had students or people in my life that say, "Oh, I'm going to art school," or "I'm going to, into fashion merchandising." And they're like, "It's a little competitive. Are you really going to make it?" What was the feedback you got from your family?
So funny. They didn't have any, if not issues, they didn't have any, extra thoughts on it. I think, yeah, I also think that in America, majors don't exactly mean you're going to end up doing that for the rest of your life. I think that majors are just something that you should focus on, but a lot of times, you can fall into something else and into a career. So I think I think they probably would have been supportive of whatever I did. I was trying to compare it to if I was going into acting, maybe they would say something, but no, they're very supportive parents, and they knew that I have this creative bone in my body, and I think they just wanted to see how I would do. Yeah. I'm lucky that way.
That's good to hear. Yes, because I've, also teachers, some of them, have students that are very creative, but they sometimes don't let them express that as much in the classroom.
And I've seen that. Right.
Have you seen that? Can you share a little bit about that?
I've seen that with family friends where it's, the parents could be pretty old school and just say that you won't get a good career out of this, out of art or out of music or whatnot. And so they went into, med school or insurance or something. And I do think that's a shame because, I mean, as long as you're passionate about something, I think that you really can make it work. And you just really have to let the child figure that on their own. I don't think you can't control them their whole lives. So why would you do it when they're at an age where they're really vulnerable to deciding on what they want to do for the rest of their life? And I think it's important, to let everyone figure it out on their own. And if they love it, let them continue doing it.
I think that's great. That's good to know because, like I said, some kids then just put a blog on that creativity and can open it up.
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
Society's expectation. Well, I mean, what we've seen you, create, like you said, it was a process, and you never know. You went all the way to Australia,
right? And it wasn't a direct path at all. It wasn't like I knew that I wanted to have a jewelry line. It honestly just kind of built from there organically, and I think that's even better because you're steered in the direction that you're supposed to go, and it just happened. It happened that way.
It's exciting. Well, what plans do you have for Kemisdesigns? What's your next step? What are you looking forward to?
So our next step, I mean, it's I'm just continuing to grow. I have this workshop with Macys, which is huge because they tell you how to scale your business, which is something know, I need to hire some people and I need some help. And I'm not a controlling person, but I guess I do have some issues with not with relying on other people. I think that's something that's going to be difficult for me to get over. But yeah, I think my big thing is just to really figure out how to scale, because right now I'm pretty thinned out, and I've bit off more than I can chew, and I never want to sacrifice quality because I'm doing too much. So it's just
Good.
figuring out how to get to that next level.
Well, we can't wait to see more. And actually, I forgot to mention, you also you made a really cool ring, right, with a New York City theme.
Yeah,
Tell us
yeah, that was one
about
of my
that.
first pieces
Yeah.
as well.
That was one of your first.
Yeah,
Oh,
that actually helped my business grow more than I realized, because I remember getting a message from one of my friends, and she was like, "Did you know your ring is on Refinery 29?" And I didn't even know what that was at the time, and I looked it up, and it was New York City themed gifts, and my ring was one of them, which they found me on Etsy. And then I was like all getting all these orders, and I was like, "Where's this coming from?" So it's amazing how that directly correlates to orders. It really does. I mean, so many people read those things, and then, yeah, they click the link, go straight to my website, and it's amazing.
Me right now about what I'm wearing a little bit. What inspired your love, your hearts, and the love design here?
I know, I love them. I think I just really fell in love with, I go through phases of different types of jewelry that I make, and those love earrings was when I was in my wiring phase, and playing with wire and my pliers and finding out that I can actually spell out words. And I thought, yeah, I mean, obviously, I realize I have a lot of love in my jewelry. I have my Love is Blinds collection, and I have, love written inside of rings and on earrings. And so the first word I think of is probably love, just because I feel like it can relate to everyone.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just found a different way to make it into a necklace, into earrings, and kind of tie it all together. And
Oh, I love it. Keep making hearts. Actually, hearts are my favorite shape. Yes. Well, we are so excited that you were here with us, and we want to know, what is your personal and inspirational quote that you would want to share?
I say it all the time. I think I have it on my Instagram profile, but it's if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And I really truly believe that. I think ever since I started my line, I don't feel like I'm working, and I am, and I made a business off of it, and it's a dream come true. I mean, I love what I do, and I think it's important to love what you really important to enjoy life and love what you're doing in it.
That's well said. That is definitely, people will really grab that. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. That is
Yeah.
great. Well, thank you so much for being on our show, and we'd love to have you back. Keep sharing your journey.
Yes,
And
definitely. Anytime.
thank you so much, Kemi. We'll see you
All
soon.
right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.